Special needs children are faced with many obstacles throughout life. Not every child with disabilities requires the same treatment, therefore various services are provided. However, controversies arise over special needs programs. One recurring issue deals with the education system and whether or not schools should lean more towards inclusive or exclusive classroom settings. I met with special needs educators to see what system they saw best fit for their students.
I definitely lean toward inclusive, but I also think there's a place for exclusive. I think some students really require zero, for certain learning experiences, zero distractions. However, I just feel that inclusive is the way to go for overall social instruction, which I think is probably one of the most important parts of special education and social instruction.
It just depends on the kid, especially in elementary school. I feel like almost every kid could be included. No kids in kindergarten need to be pulled out really, unless it's a behavior problem, because they're all kind of on the same level. But by the time you get to our age, unfortunately classes in high school aren't set up for my kids. Everything is bookwork. Even the foods class where they could maybe go out and cook some things, it's basically planning and how many calories and how many servings, and my kids just can't do that. But as much as they can get out, it benefits them because they see the social skills that other kids have, and they model that. They have friendships, and when you have an exclusive education, you don't get any friendships out in the real world, and then they get out of school at 21 and they have nobody and nothing. So that's the great thing about here with our peer tutors. As much as my kids maybe can't go out, we have people that come in, and so we still get the benefit of regular ed peers. If the kid's not a behavior problem, then they can go out a lot. Like I had one of my students last year who couldn't read and couldn't write, but he went to a regular ed social studies class. He could hear and he could listen, and he was involved. Now, when you have kids with autism, it makes it a lot harder. Those kids can't do transitions. They don't like loud noises. They don't like people they don't know. They don't like things that are new. So kids with autism have a harder time going out. But like kids with Down syndrome or kids with just a mental disability, they might be able to go out a whole lot easier.
Inclusive education allows for special needs students to interact with their classmates through peer tutoring. Peer tutoring is one individual mentoring another in his or her academics.
We have peer tutors, and they actually get graded. They get a grade for my class for basically being a teacher assistant. So none of the kids in my class can read. So what they'll do for my kids is come in and read to them, read them choices, maybe modify the work. If the kid can't figure it out, they may cover up a choice so that my student only has 2 choices instead of 3. They might paraphrase if they're reading something and my student doesn't understand it. They can reread it, or my kids just need a lot of help with daily skills, so we have to have peer tutors in the classroom. We couldn't get it done.
Do you feel that the peer tutoring helps both students?
Oh, amazing. And it's crazy because I tell this to peer tutors and they don't believe me until they're done, but the peer tutors get more out of it than we do. My kids are used to getting help. They've been helped all their life, but a peer tutor comes in and meets a kid who tells them they love them every day and gives them a hug every day, and and they see the benefit from the friendship. But the peer tutors go out feeling 10 times better about themselves and about what they've done.
I've seen students that didn't enjoy school sometimes just really flourish in my classroom. I've seen students that are, especially in the general curriculum, that it was like where they found their place. It was where they felt important, and students that even had behavior problems, they come in my classroom and work with these kids, and they're like a totally different student. It's really been awesome to watch.
Involvement in activities both in and out of school helps special needs students know their value. However, students are limited as to what they can do because of being on different schedules than their peers and their reliability on his or her parents or guardians for transportation to and from events.
I do things with my students. I have students that have graduated years ago, and we still go out to eat and things like that. And of course, the fun parts of going out to eat are always nice for me too, but that's definitely something that I do. We also become involved with students going to prom and doing things
I mean, here,
like
this
that.
is a county school. So, like, my kids live out in Knottsville, Whitesville. I mean, that's a long haul. So, parents just aren't as willing to come back for things. And then you think about, like, dances. My kids generally don't go to dances. They don't start till 8 or 9 o'clock. And my kids are usually in bed at 8 o'clock, you know? So, like, at prom, we'll go and we'll start at 5 o'clock and do the whole thing. And they'll be ready to go home by the time prom starts because it's bedtime. So, I mean, they'll probably stay till 10 or 10:30. It's just their lifestyle is different than a typical teenager who's up all night and gets up late the next morning.
Although inclusive education benefits students both with and without disabilities, educators believe there is always room for growth in the special needs education system.
That just changing the way we think about the special education classroom and it becoming not just in a classroom, moving more towards, and I think it is moving in that direction, more towards going out and doing that sort of thing. And then also I feel like creating a culture in our world and in our school systems that foster relationships between people with disabilities and without disabilities. I think that's one of the things that I'm the most proud of with Owensboro High School is the culture. They're not seen as, oh, the special students that we have to be nice to. My students are seen as they are students of Owensboro High School. They are part of every part of Owensboro High School, whether it be athletics, academics, and the students in the general ed classroom understand that, and they feel it is important that these students are out among them and they are equal to them.